all the night, being harassed by a bunch of fucking losers, as usual. Climbing up the side of my fucking house, everything else. Look at me. I look like hell. Because of people like these people. Pieces of shit. I started banging against the side of my house again. All night long. It's like they're climbing up the side of my fucking house. I opened my bedroom window the other night because I'm like, what the fuck's going on outside of my bedroom window, right? Because, I'm sleeping right there. And what do we got? We got 2 chairs stacked up on top of each other. Like these people. And then they're threatening me that in 5 days, people with steel toe boots are going to break into my house. Then they're climbing around in the fucking attic, making all kinds of fucking noise, setting up a fucking ladder outside to the outside access to come in through the attic access. I don't know, but I have ADT security on the phone. May have to call the cops again. I always have to fucking tell on these people constantly too. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun, It's been nonstop harassment every single day for a year now. Well, no, this has been going on for a lot longer than a year. But after being homeless for 5 years, I finally get a place to live. And what do? I move next door to people that want to give me death threats and harass me every single fucking day. Yeah. And am I going to tell on them? Yeah, I'm going to fucking tell on them. Fucking weirdos. Sending people over here telling me they're part of a fucking satanic cult, that they kidnap people and kill people and all this other shit, wear steel toe boots and come over and break in and fucking all this. I mean, the threats are just endless. It's just fucking bullshit. So anyways, here we are. I better check my ADT security because we got them dialed in, which really sucks. Having to have them in all the fucking time. I cannot imagine. Okay, just to let you know, check in a few minutes to make sure that you're still. But if there's something you want to talk about, I'm here for you. Thank you. That's ADT security. They want to call the cops. ADT security wants to call the cops right now. It's better to have them call the cops than me, of course, because at least the cops have some kind of responsibility. If you're unable to accidentally triggered, no problem. We're texting you in a moment. Okay. All right. Wait. What happened here? Your activity tracker. What? What? Firm will send you. Okay. What now? Okay. I don't know what's going on with my activity tracker, but I'm trying to get back to it. Yeah. So let's go to my activity tracker. These dumb fuckers. Stupid ass fucking people. Oh my god, you guys are fucking bullshit. If you are unable to reply to their message, please do so. We just want to make sure you're okay. Yes, I am referring to that app. Yes. I set my activity tracker for, I think, 15 minutes. And I was just trying to get back in and check on it, but I'm on some frozen screen. Ma'am, I'm talking about the So Secure app. So ADT security keeps texting me back and forth, wondering if I'm okay, and etc. and etc. It's been really fun. It's been super fucking cool. Real fucking cool. These people are fucking right on, dude. So hey guys. This is me in here with ADT security. They're probably called the cops by now. Yeah, the cops are a little bit more obligated to respond when it's ADT security. Provide a witness. Look at my double chin. How gross. Lurking around. I should just go out there and do something really bad, but I guess I won't for now. There's ADT security again. I haven't heard that. I have heard that sometimes the screen can do that with that app. I'm sorry, the only way to know maybe stop it would be to close out the app, but then you would lose me. You would, however, be able to activate it again. Or likely it would be another agent. Well, I hate to tell you, but I think ADT called the cops. Yep, I think ADT just called the cops. Mm-hmm. ADT's security app is having them call the cops. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're I'm pretty sure they just called the cops. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's a pretty exciting channel, isn't it? Yeah, it's really exciting. Yeah, super exciting. I'm gonna bail out of here for a second. People outside in the rain harassing me inside of my house all night long. Just a regular routine around here. Yeah. Somebody told me the other day that I should move to the apartment next door, which is interesting because they made it seem like somebody's gonna move or something. I don't know what the point of that was. I don't remember who it was either that said that, but it was somebody. Said I should move next door. So I said, "Are you guys up in the attic?" He said, "No, there was a mouse in the kitchen." How does that even make any sense? Yeah, I'm a real handsome girl tonight.
Scripture tells about Jesus casting out devils, and the disciples talked about casting out devils. Would you comment on the meaning of this? I am Latwi, and am aware of your query, my sister. For those entities upon your planet who have sought the meaning of life and the nature of truth, there has been the answer to the calling in a infinite variety of ways. Those works which you refer to as the Holy Scriptures of your Bible are but one example of an answer, or more correctly, a series of answers to a series of callings. Each answer, therefore, is made understandable by the one answering the call for the one who calls. Therefore, you might note that different terms can be used for those entities which are described in this work as devils or evil spirits. Forget, my friends, that there is one creator and one creation, and many portions of that creation are of what is normally called the darker side. For there is night and there is light, and together they make the day. Those entities of the negative nature are those entities which pursue the polarity of serving the self, which is to say, they draw unto the self the light which surrounds them and do not reflect or radiate it unto others. For such radiation is of the positive polarity. Entities of the so called negative nature, therefore, might seem at times to be in opposition, as you might call it, to entities of a positive polarity. Yet, my friends, in truth, this is not so. Each serves the other so that the one Creator which resides in both might know itself in greater varieties and intensities and manners of being. Yet, with a, shall we say, short run of time, there might be the inharmonious joining of positive and negative. When entities of a positive nature are hindered in their attempts to be of service to others, this hindrance is a portion of the dance of the Creator. And another portion of that dance might include the entities of positive polarity seeking a purification of their being, of their place or location, and of those types of service which they seek to render in such purification or such casting out of demons, as it is called in these scriptures. It is recognized by those of purely positive polarity that though they ask those of the negative nature to remove themselves from the immediate surroundings, yet all are seen as the one Creator within certain levels of the illusions which create the densities of being. It is more appropriate from time to time for such purification to occur. Yet all action is the Creator which is experiencing itself.
find myself wanting to say, with, without without wanting to appear falsely modest. It's not about false modesty, but I find myself wanting to say that I had very little to do with all that's just been talked about here. I simply took dictation, honestly. I didn't create any of the messages. I didn't produce any of the wisdom. I didn't reveal any of the solutions to life's mysteries. I simply took dictation. And I'm grateful to God and to life that I had the opportunity to do that. And I want to begin my chat with you today by allowing you to know that this is not something that is exclusive to me, this experience. That in fact, and if I hear one question more than any other from people around the world when I make a few appearances, people say to me, how can I have that experience? Or how can I have my own conversation with God? And, or can I even have my own? And the answer, of course, as all of you in this room know, the answer is yes. And you are doing it all the time. God is talking to all of us all the time. It's not a question of to whom is God talking. It's a question of who's listening. What we want to make sure we don't do is dismiss the information. I want to say the data, almost, I want to say, to dismiss the data that we're receiving from that source of divine wisdom and clarity that resides within all of us, and dismiss it as either coincidence or serendipity or not meaningful or perhaps, you know what's interesting? Many people dismiss the information they receive from the source of wisdom within them because it's too good to be true. And they hear these extraordinarily positive and powerful messages, and they literally reject them and do not act on them because they're too good to be true. And I'm in that category. I said to God in the dialogue, you may remember that passage where I said, gosh, this all seems too good to be true. And God said to me, well, if God can't be too good to be true, who can? So I didn't really have a good answer to that question. It's exactly right. So if the message you're receiving about yourself, about your future, about our collective future, about your talents, about your gifts, about the wonder and the joy of who you are, and all of it really, if the information you're receiving seems almost too good to be true, then let yourself embrace it, let yourself accept it, let yourself hold it as in fact the truth about you, coming from the place inside of you that knows the truth and is the truth. Now, having said that, the title of today's talk is Our Role in Evolution. And thank you for showing up and deciding to be here for this brief time that we can share together this morning. And let's consider that title, Our Role in Evolution. I presume you wouldn't be here in the room if it didn't hold at least some interest for you. What is our role in evolution? I'd like to begin by saying that our role in evolution has nothing to do with everybody else. So don't feel like, oh, I got this burden or this assignment or this, process I have to engage in that's going to, produce an evolutionary leap for humankind. So just to know that the role in evolution that you are being invited to play by life itself has nothing to do with everybody else. And it has everything to do with everybody else. So it's one of those divine dichotomies that are often spoken of in the Conversations with God material. It's a divine dichotomy where two apparently contradictory truths exist simultaneously in the same space. So your role in evolution has nothing to do with everybody else, and it has everything to do with everybody else. But to clarify that apparent contradiction, it begins, and I know you've heard this 1,000 times. I'm sorry to bring you nothing new this morning, but I probably should have said that at the beginning. I have nothing new to say this morning. You could also all have that just gotten up and left, and it would have been an easier morning for all of us. But it's important to know that I have nothing new to say, and the reason you're here is not to be enlightened or appraised of or opened to something new, but merely to be reminded. I want to suggest to you that you brought yourself here this morning to be reminded of what you already know, of what you already understand. So if it sounds like I'm saying, things you've heard 1,000 times before from 100 other so-called messengers and teachers, and read in 100 other books, and heard yourself in your own mind from the source of your wisdom, if it sounds like all I'm doing is repeating all of that, know that that's the process. That's what's going on. That was designed to be that way. You brought yourself here not to hear anything new, in my view, but to remind yourself of what you already know. So the process of evolution invites us to answer a question, to make a decision, a major decision that we need to address today, in my view. And the decision is not whether you will participate in the process of evolution, but how. You cannot not participate in the process of evolution. You're participating in that process automatically by the living of your life. So it's not a question of whether you're going to participate, even in the larger process that may in fact affect other people, because you are already participating. So the question is not whether you will participate, but how. And I hope to be able to answer or offer you to be true for me, and see whether it fits in your reality as well this morning. But before I do that, before we get into the how, let me just take a tiny diversion here and talk about why. And those of you who were with me the other day for the all-day event heard a little bit of this, but to share it with many of you who were not there. The why of it. I mean, like, why bother? Why can't we just get on with our lives? Just do what we do and get on with our lives. Why bother engaging in the process of evolution in a conscious way? I'm going to make that delineation in a conscious way because, as I just said a minute ago, we're all involved in the process, whether we know it or not, whether we're doing it consciously or not. We're engaging in the process of our own evolution by the choices and decisions, by the words, thoughts, and actions that emerge from us in our life. Not do it consciously. That is, we can find ourselves doing it unconsciously. And so the question becomes, how are we going to engage in that process? And I think the answer to that question, how, somehow emerges more urgently when we look closely at why. Why bother? The question why is answered by taking a look at what we're doing here to begin with. But even before we do that, let's take a look at how we're doing on the planet. I made a few notes here on why we may choose as a collective to engage ourselves, to involve ourselves in the process of our evolution. My dear friends, I don't want to begin this Sunday morning with a downer. But I do think it's important for us to look at the nature of things, just briefly, for 3 or 4 minutes, to take a look at why. Why engage in the process of our own evolution and the evolution of the species? It's simple. It's now or never time. We are a self-destructive species. Whether we're willing to acknowledge it or not, humanity is a self-destructive species. That is, we are killing ourselves and killing each other, and we can't find a way to stop it. We don't seem, as I was told in conversations with God, we can't even find a way to stop from killing each other and from killing ourselves. Much less, the smaller goals. Can we just get along? Can we find a little happiness and peace and joy in our life? But forget about those goals. We can't even stop killing each other. And we're doing it in 1,000 ways all the time. As an example, we're poisoning ourselves and each other by the way we treat the environment. And we can't even admit it. Half of us can't even, oh, Neil, don't start with the environment stuff. But we're poisoning our rivers and our streams and the air and the ground, and we can't, as a species, even admit it, much less stop it. We're sentencing thousands to death by the way we make modern medicine and modern medical miracles available only to the well-to-do. Millions of people can't even have access to the medicines or to the procedures that extend life on this planet. And I speak from experience. Those of you who were there on Friday know that I've recently, about 18 months ago, less than 18 months ago, had open heart surgery. And it was a remarkable procedure where they slice you open and they do what they do, and they do a bypass, and I had a quintuple bypass. So, but to think of something like that in the middle of certain countries of the world, which will go nameless, would be impossible. So when I emerged from the operation, I was aware of not only the miracle of what had occurred, but the miracle that it had occurred, that I was able to access that kind of a procedure. To see, there's nothing to sneeze at. You got to work with what's going on in the room, folks.
So we had a bunch of dumb faggots. I love dumb faggots. Faggots are my favorite thing in the world. I love more than nothing I love more than a good old fashioned dumb fuck faggot. Oh, that cools me down a little bit. And they're obviously trying to overheat me. That's cool. These fucking people are losers, dude. How people become this worthless, I don't know. This is what they do with their fucking time. Let's see how many fucking degrees. I bet it's about 100 degrees in here right now. Mm-hmm. Yep. There's oh, for Christ, motherfucking sake.